Hello, YouTubers. This is Bob Hickman. It's so good to be back with all of you guys. Well, I tell you, I've been so excited. You guys have been wonderful, sending me tons of letters. I've been getting letters on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, and also, of course, YouTube. And it's so nice. Thank you for your wonderful support. Well, a lot of you guys wrote to me and you said, Bob, you want to know more about gemstones, and we're going to do some of that too in the next week. And to follow up, remember I did the video on jade. Well, I found a piece of my jade jewelry. I've been collecting jade jewelry for years, and I just found a piece that I thought I had lost. I want to share it with you guys. It's a disc pendant. These are very common in China. This little green Chinese jade pendant, I'm wearing it today. So glad you guys would enjoy seeing that. Thank you for all your letters. Well, before we get into all of them today, give me just a moment and let me attune to the spirit world. Okay? I hear Fletcher back here. He says hi. Okay, guys. Well, let's see. Our first letter tonight goes out to Shannon Colette. She writes in from Facebook. And, you know, I got to tell you, Shannon, I do pick up around you, interesting, a lot of psychic activity here. And I do feel that you're an empath. Now, one of the things is I pick up around you is that your body's nervous system is kind of like in hyper overdrive. And what you want to do with that is you've got to ground that energy down. And for you, I would recommend the stone hematite. Hematite's a very good grounding stone. And also for you, black tourmaline. Black tourmaline. You can get those online, I imagine, or check your local, rock shop. Anyways, these stones will help balance that energy around you. I do feel you have an empathic ability, and I feel in the next year or so you're going to start to have more visions here because I'm getting a lot of orb activity around you. And as for your friend that passed over, yes, they are in the light. I do pick them up around you, and I keep hearing somebody saying, it's a voice that says, I'm fine, I'm at peace. It's like a whisper. So I do get this presence around you. And it's interesting is I also feel like you're out of the period of loss now. Because you've been crossing through a period where it's like all these things start leaving. You know, people you love are leaving. You know, you've been losing, energy and you've been overwhelmed. But that's an energy cycle I see you coming out of, okay? So just hang in there because as we go into the end of April, I'm getting more balance here, okay? Keep working on your meditation and keep try to get those stones. That'll help, okay? Thanks for writing. All right, Tanya Kuleman wants to know about her spirit guide. Yeah, I get around you a Civil War soldier. He keeps showing me a blue uniform. He's a tall guy. He's like one of your protectors. He has the name of Baron. And it's funny because he keeps showing me, he says he walks out to the car and he walks to the house. So it's like he goes back and forth whenever you're traveling in a car. He likes to go along. And it's interesting. He keeps showing me his uniform, and he has a rifle in his hand. He says he stands guard around you, but his name is Baron. Thanks for writing. Okay, our next letter, let's see, Samantha Schulte. Wants to know about how to develop psychic gifts. Well, for you, one of the things that I want you to focus on is doing more reading. You need to, do some research on the history of spiritualism. So I want you to read. Look up stuff from the Victorian era. And learn about the history of the mediums. And the next step that you've got to do is meditate. I want you to focus on the third eye here. You have some clairvoyant gifts. And I feel like this has actually been going on for you for several years. Like you get little visions or flashes of insights. I do get a lot of dream activity here, but I feel like that it's coming more into the waking reality. But to control that, you want to meditate. For you, a very good stone would be amethyst, because that gemstone will help you to balance your energy flow. I feel like around you there's like periods of time where it's like the energies are full on, and then it's like times it's like nothing's happening. So amethyst is kind of a good energy balancer, and that'll help you to open your clairvoyance. But I want you to also be reading. Do research, go to your library, and ask your librarian if they have any old books about the early days of spiritualism. Study about the Fox sisters, study about D.D. Hume. There's so many mediums, Cora Richmond, and learn about the history of spiritualism, because you need to work on understanding that lineage that you're going to be involved with. Okay? Thanks for writing. All right, our next letter is from Bonnie Wolbert. And she has some questions about a new relationship. Hi, Bonnie. Yes, thank you for writing. Well, you know, I got to tell you, I like this guy around you. I just am getting a very solid feel around him, and I feel like you and he are in harmony. Now, normally I would be honest and, you know, say to somebody, I think it's too soon for you to be in a relationship. But honestly, in your case, I don't feel that way. Because what they show me is that this man around you is in a healing place. And emotionally, he's moving into a place of being able to let somebody into his life. And I feel Spirit has put you two together. So I like the vibration between you. Listen, don't worry about the zodiac signs, because actually this combination for you guys will work. You know, him being a Sagittarius means that he's going to be more introspective. He's kind of the deep thinker. And you as a Leo are much more of an extrovert energetically. And so that's kind of like yin and yang balance, and that'll work good for you guys. You know, in terms of the former relationship, well, you know, I just got to say, he messed up. Bad. But you know what? I also feel that had you stayed with that down the road, there would have been a clash of egos. Now, you mentioned that both of you in your former relationship had been Leos. Sometimes just because somebody has the same sign does not necessarily mean it's a good match. There are other factors like, you know, other planets in the chart that affect that, you know, your rising sign, so that can be a factor. But also sometimes when you're the same sign, it becomes a clash of energies, because the male version of a zodiac sign often exhibits energies and traits different than the female. It's not always complementary. So I feel like you know, being a Leo and he, the new guy, being a Sagittarius, is actually a better combination, you know, astrologically than Leo and Leo for you. Okay, not for everybody, but for you. Okay. Thank you so much for writing. I hope that helps. Let me know how it goes. Okay, let's see. Our next letter here is from Genevieve McBride, and she wants to know about upcoming move and career changes. Well, you know, I got to tell you, Genevieve, I get around you the South, and I want to place this around Georgia, possibly Atlanta, and that might sound like a far away place for you to go, but I'm getting Georgia, and it's interesting because around you, I get something here where it's like connected to community service or community work. So I feel like, and it has a legal component. So you might work for like legal aid or do social work that's connecting for people that are having, you know, legal problems. But I feel like Atlanta is a new place for you. I get a lot of energy around that. And I want you to be open to that, okay? So focus in the area of something that's dealing with community service. Hope that helps. Thank you so very much. Okay, let's see here. We've got a letter from Leanne. Leanne writes in from Facebook, and she says, I love your videos. Well, thank you, Leanne. That's really sweet of you. I love doing videos for you guys, and I love all the letters. Thank you. You know, in terms of your question about romance, I keep getting the month of August here, and they keep showing me that as we get to August, your emotional energies are more in balance, because I feel like when I go back for the last 6 months around you, I'm getting kind of erratic pattern here energetically. And I feel like now you're moving into a more subtle place. So I want you to watch the month of August here. I get a guy, and you're going to laugh when I say this, but I swear, I see you guys meeting, it's at a rock concert. I can hear the music, and there's all these people, and there's, you know, it's like kind of an outdoor rock concert. So it may be, you know, some sort of summer big bash or something, because it looks like it's at a stadium. There's literally thousands of people there. But it looks like it's in August, and he's right there. I think he actually is with a group of friends, and you're with a group, and your group's going to hang out together. So anyways, keep me posted on that. Thanks so much. All right, let's see. Rachel Adia. Yeah, she wants to know about the guy she's going to marry. Well, you know, I got to tell you, what I'm getting around you is a guy who's an artist. He has an artist theme on his chart, and he's very out there, very creative. I get a lot of painting around him. I also get something connected with media, where like video production. So he may be very much into the video side of things. I have his own video business, and it keeps showing me his hair very short and spiky. And I think it's dark hair, but he like may have it frosted or highlighted. It's kind of cool looking. He's very creative, very edgy, okay? So that's the direction I see your future marriage going, and you're going to meet him relatively soon, actually. Okay, so hang in there. Thanks so much for writing. Okay, Alexa Ray Therese Marsh. Hi. Yeah, wants to know about some of her career in the future. Yes. Well, you know, I got to tell you, I get around you, interestingly, like we're talking about with Rachel, you have on your chart an artist theme. And I do pick up acting around you. I have to be honest, I don't get singing so much in the sense of you singing, but I do get music production around you. So I feel like you may, in the artistic area of music, end up going to something that has a production element behind it. I want you to watch the fall of 2012 here around September, October. I keep getting you auditioning for a play. And I'd like you to be open to looking at, like in your local area. I feel this is a local theater, may even be community theater. But I do pick up acting around you, and you have an artist theme, so you'll be successful. And remember that about music production. I feel that may not open for another, 2 years, but I see your energy starting now around me. Thanks for writing. All right, our next letter, George Taz Keys. Hi, George. He writes in from Baltimore on Facebook and said that he's always on Facebook and excited to see me there. Well, it's great to see you, too. Now, George, I got to tell you, for those of you watching, you've got to go check him out on Facebook, George Taz Keys. He's ahead of the Guardian Angels in Baltimore. Very important group. Do a lot of good. And, I got to tell you, George, I'm getting this summer very active work around you, particularly with the angels. And it looks like in the Guardian Angel, I don't mean spirit guides, I mean literally your group. I'm seeing more police work, and I see you guys being asked to assist in more crime solving. You do have Archangel Michael around you, and I feel like he comes in even stronger now. He's kind of pushing something forward so you can be of greater service to the community. I also get around you, George, speaking engagements, and I feel like you're going to be invited to schools, particularly as we go into the fall time this year. So be open to more public appearances, community service, particularly working with the police. Looks good. Thanks for writing. So good to hear from you. Okay, Lindsay Johnson wants to know who her spirit guide is. Yeah, hi, Lindsay. Around you, I keep picking up, she was a Catholic nun named St. Elizabeth Ann Seton. She's around you in spirit, and it's interesting because she keeps holding out books and symbols of education around you, and that's a sign to me that you have a teacher theme on your chart. Now, being a teacher doesn't necessarily mean you have to just be in a school. I feel like your teacher theme will take you into a larger setting. So you might, for example, be thinking in terms of teaching groups, teaching seminars, teaching classes, in giant auditoriums, even college professor. But it doesn't have to necessarily be formal schooling. You could be teaching meditation, but you have a teacher theme. And Elizabeth Ann Seton is around you in spirit. Thanks for writing. All right, let's see. Our next letter is Beck Davies. Asked about her friend. She said that she was trying to teach a friend automatic writing, and she had a vision. Well, I got to tell you, your friend's automatic writing, that's really not her forte. It's good that you tried it, but what I get around her, she's more of a visionary. She has a clairvoyant ability. Now, automatic writing is very good, but sometimes that's more of a channeling ability. And sometimes, all the gifts work together, but I get her more visually oriented rather than, receiving messages through that means. And I want you to work with her, help her understand the chakras inside. I feel like that's really will help her open up. And I'd like you also to be working with the chakras because you want to kind of raise your own power and help her learn how to do that also, okay? Hope that helps. Well, my goodness, guys, that's all I'm going to get to today. But I am so glad you're here. Thank you for writing. Thank you for watching. And keep it here at Spirit Channel. We got a weekend dance party video coming, and we're going to have a lot of really cool videos in the next few days. So you know where it's at. Keep it here at Spirit Channel. And, of course, next week I will have another Messages from the Spirit World.